Alright, I've completed work on the second floor for everything but the master bath. But before we go up there, after that I returned to this kitchen. I wanted to do a little bit more with it, just to make sure that we were thorough. In particular, I thought this fridge should come down here, and so this kitchen just develops the idea of the fridge down there. If that does not play into your plans, then it really doesn't matter. But that's what I want to experiment with. I like that the wall provides closure for it here and kind of helps step it back so that it can be a full depth refrigerator, which tend to get pretty deep. And then this was really, I went straight to the end plan here. This was how things shook out if I did it that way. I think this is probably as large you won't get too many slabs of granite larger than that. I don't know how large they make the artificial material. Not that this couldn't be seamed, but there was a look at rotating the counter, doing it that way, keeping this down here. I have no idea why this window disappeared. And then this was a bench I had built, designed for somebody in 2010 that has all the typical clearances of bench seating, just to give you a feel for the space you have left down there if you run the island like this, or even if you don't, if you more or less keep the island's margin under this beam somewhere. And so if you have the bench down there, probably you should have a window, and if you're going to do that, you might want to plan this can be a little wider. You can horse around with making that wider in your design, but if you're going to have a window, or if this one's going to get moved at all in this new plan, it probably ought to be planned for now and done while you're doing this framing. This was just some messing around with do we want any closure at that laundry facility. At first I was like, well, you could put hooks and stuff like that for coats back here, but that doesn't really matter. Whether you want to enclose that laundry, though, is another matter. This was just, there was the old stairs. If you put the laundry to the left, to the west, there's the old stairs, so leave that wall right where it is, or that's where the wall gets built. And now we've got two 24-inch doors here and two 30-inch doors here, with 7'3" left for booth seating or table seating or whatever, if you wanted to enclose the laundry down here. I did it this way so that this door could stay, so the door wasn't scattered in the middle of this beam here. And yeah, you would probably want to, if this becomes the plan, then you would want to shift this window, I would think, to be centered over either a table or whatever you put in this space. This shows you, you can get by with 21 inches here, and obviously the table can be really as small as 30. So there's a lot of room to play with in terms of that space. This is fairly generous here, though. These are seating for two. That could actually come out another 3 or 4 inches for a little more generous seating and a little less transition right here. I just center the cooktop on that whole island. Probably is what I would do to give you a little more right-hand working space. On the second floor, then, this was the smallest bath I think that makes sense. A 30-inch vanity. This is about a 32-inch, I guess it's close to 33 or 34-inch gap here. Notice this wall, we have a little bit of space to play with there. So this wall is thickened so that we can have the shower head on this wall adjacent to the toilet. This is the same setup I have at my house, except my toilet is 3 inches closer. This toilet is about 16 off of this, and mine is about 13, and it's been fine. So that was the smallest bath I could consider, the smallest I would consider going for a full bath up here to serve these two bedrooms. That leaves you with these sizes of bedrooms. That is that existing wall, the stashed wall. If you're going to leave that in place, then it gets built around this idea here with leaving that in place and the closets being like that. Notice here that you can, because we have 1'8" here, if you wanted to, these closets can front either way. This closet can open this way, and then this one is up here, or as they're shown here. And what I'm showing here is this one has a little bit larger closet. This is a 6-foot sliding door. This is a 5-foot sliding door. And there are the room sizes, leaving that existing wall in place. This still meets code for minimum bedroom size. Everything is in place. This is the existing width of that window in its existing place, and I've increased its height to be an egress window. You might want to specify exactly where you want me to put these two windows. This one I have changed to a casement window, hinged back here to pick up the west wind and raising that head back to a normal human size head height. Now that was that, and you can freeze frame this film and look at each of these plans. There's only several, because the next option then is shifting that, taking down that wall that's already there, taking down that thing and rebuilding it further east or further south to make these rooms a little bit more right. If you wanted to make bedroom 2 a little larger at the expense of bedroom 3, you can pull that down some. Now, there's the bedroom sizes now, roughly. I mean, they don't include this little piece here, but this does have the required square footage. It's, I think it's 80 square feet, and the code minimum is 70. And the minimum dimension is 7 foot in any direction, so we're okay there. But this is to look at these room sizes and see, because here they are like that, with that one shifting down. These are the final room sizes and their percentages of the bedroom area. That's how it's divided right now. This wall, as I recall, this wall is down already, so that can go back. There's some flexibility. It's not load bearing. It doesn't do anything except divide these two rooms. So I wasn't sure whether you wanted to consider moving that somewhat east. But this is a quick review of that. What that does is, instead of a 6-foot sliding door here, this goes back down to a 5-foot. So now these are both 5 foot. And maybe this one goes to 6 foot and this one goes to 4 foot, since this is a small bedroom. You should call that out though, and I can just put it on the plans. That did widen this master bedroom this way by about, I believe, a foot. Let's see. Yes. From 15.4 to 6, about a foot. And a few other adjustments that probably ought to be made if that is done, if that new wall is put in place here. And then these, I believe, well, no, these are the updated percentages then, and room sizes from this place here. And there's one other move that probably, well, I gave a little bit more space in the bathroom now. Just, why not, for that little bedroom. And for what it's worth, there's a double bed. That's a mattress for a double bed, just to give you a feel for that. Finally, in this last move, I'm not sure. Oh, I had put this in there simply because that doorway was there, and well, maybe you need a mechanical chase. Probably you do not, or probably they can find another location. Which, by the way, the toilet drop, this toilet stack will come over this way and come down through that little closet that's by the stairs, by the way, if we're wondering about pathways. So that's the last move, is just, it moves this door over here. So now there's some room for some hallway switches here, or here. Somebody's coming up, they turn on the switch, and then they can turn it off here, or here. That is a review of that. Now what remains is everything in the surface of this drywall this way. And I should be able to do that in a, you should have that by morning, but I'll put this film together and send it over now. Thanks, and review it at your convenience, and let me know. I think this really is really pretty straightforward. This window here will have to come over a little bit further now. I had it center, and maybe this can be a casement window. Either of these can be. All we need is an egress window in each of these bedrooms. But if we can call them out, they just like that to be in the plans when you apply for the permit, so we don't have to go back and forth with them. I like windows, so I did not mention, but if we are going to mess with siding on this side, I think it would be a very good idea to put a small window in over this, just 12 wide by 36 high, or 17 wide by 35 high or so. It makes all the difference. You don't want an interior bath without a window like that. So that is that. I didn't show it, but that is a critical piece that should be added in. And let me know what you want to do with this existing opening here as well. That's all for now. I'm sure that your master bath will be over by morning. Several alternatives on that.